What is not nearly as bad as people make it out to be? Saying no unapologetically. Solo traveling *, do so with proper prior planning and understand the risks. Owning your mistakes, not even the big ones. The smaller ones. Single quote. Yeah. That's my fuck up. I'm sorry. I'll learn from it. Move on. Spending time alone with yourself. You don't always have to be around people. In fact, it's bad not to spend time alone. Edit. Also, never let people make fun of you for wanting to be alone. Those kinds of people hate being alone because they don't know how to entertain themselves. Writing a will. People are weird about thinking about their death or having conversations about what they should do. Have the conversation. I assure you. We all die. And dying intestate or without a personal directive makes it way more difficult for your family. Edit. Thank you for the awards. I really hope this comment and thread sparks helpful and productive conversations. You can be young, old, have $1 million or have a random spare penny to your name. But at least think about it. It's just a legal document. I promise it's not going to take you out the minute you sign. A prostate test. Yes. The doctor will stick a finger up your butt to check your prostate. 1. The doctor is wearing a rubber glove and will put some lube on his finger. 2. The whole procedure takes less than 1 minute. There is nothing sexual about it, it's a common medical procedure. No. You are not gay if you let the doctor do this. No. The doctor is not trying to make you gay. No. The doctor is not enjoying himself or trying to degrade you. He's just checking if you have cancer that could kill you if it goes undetected for too long. The whole "I'm never letting a doctor touch me there" attitude is mind-blowing. People make it sound like it is the most degrading and painful experience they've ever had. It's nothing. Seriously. Chill out, people. GI distress after Taco Bell or White Castle. I for one hear all the jokes but never had anything nasty happen. Edit. I've also never had an issue with Arby's or Chipotle either. And with Taco Bell I usually drown my items in fire sauce. Rip Verde. Long drives. It's something I enjoy. Jury duty. It was actually quite interesting to get an inside look at being on a jury. Waiting. Just chill, bro. Being in a long committed relationship. People always make it sound so black and white. A little communication can take you far. Telling people something they don't want to hear and not being apologetic about it. Being nice to other people. Being single. Root canals. They're not fun. But if go to someone who knows what they're doing. There's no real pain. The fear leading up to it was much worse than anything that actually happened. Mentally ill people, specifically people with scary disorders like schizophrenia and did. Along that same line. Mental hospital patients. Edit. First, wow, thanks so much for all the upvotes and awards. Second, I've gotten a few comments misunderstanding. So I am going to clarify. I am referring to the people who have these disorders. Not the disorders having the disorders. Finally, to everyone saying, I agree, except for this disorder. That one is still scary. No. I mean that one too. Yes. Even that one that you're thinking of. Weightlifting. Seriously, don't focus on the weights other people in the gym. Focus on yourself and master form technique on each movement and progressively increase your strength. Really not that deep unless you get into powerlifting, bodybuilding, Olympic lifting. Turning 30. For years it was made out to be some grim line in the sand. Where all who cross it are forsaken. Banished forever from the utopia of your 20s. When I got to 30. I was pleasantly surprised to be looking ahead at some years that looked pretty promising. With many less enjoyable aspects of my teens plus 20s in the rearview mirror. I know who I am and who I am not. I know what I like, what I don't, and how to try new things. I am confident and happy in myself and those around me. I've got enough experience to pack a few good anecdotes into an evening. But also enough experience to know the value of asking questions and listening. I'm not notably wealthy, but have enough disposable income to be comfortable and entertained. With enough left over to save or cover the odd unexpected expense. I don't have to pretend I enjoy going out clubbing. I know I'm not invincible or perfect. I've identified flaws and taken steps to address some of them. While I can't say if this is the same for everyone. Most people I have spoken to about turning 30 have all shared sentiments along the same line. Getting a vaccine. People overreact the needle pain, which is never as bad as the sting. Having a colonoscopy. You shit for a couple hours and then you go into the office and go to sleep for a bit. It's not a big deal and the side effects of avoiding one are way worse. Staying home. I really like being at home. I feel bad for those who find it a hardship or boring. Therapy. There is still wide stigma around it, even though it's more than common these days in Western countries especially. You don't have to have a mental health issue or be weird to go to therapy. Sometimes it's good to have someone to talk to, even if it is for once or twice. Airline meals. Math. Some of it is certainly complex. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like people hate math solely because they have very negative views of their own abilities. Anyone can learn math. And being good at math isn't defined by doing complex math problems in your head. Edit. Just want to note that math anxiety is a real thing. And I know that much of the hatred comes from bad teachers and horrible learning experiences. And yes, some of it is too abstract and complex for people to grasp. But I believe more people have the potential to excel in it than they think. I grew up with teachers who constantly said, "Girls are bad at math." So I never really pictured myself going into a career that involves it until later on. Now I'm a lecturer in a scientific field. And I'm trying to show students that it doesn't have to be scary. Your perspective can change the way you encounter it. I disliked math and statistics until I ran into a practice problem that discussed how soldiers for the Vietnam War were drafted using a lottery system. They randomly matched 366 days in a year, including possibility of leap year, with the numbers 1 to 366. All the dates for January were put into capsules, poured into a large glass container, and shuffled. The capsules for each month were added and mixed, month by month. Then one capsule was drawn. People with the birth date in the drawn capsule were assigned to the first draft. And so on. When looking at this problem, we can examine possible biases with this method. Is this a fair system? There tends to be clusters of birthdays in certain months where other months have far fewer birthdays, etc. I found it kind of messed up that a flawed system was being used for this. Seeing it from this perspective made it a bit more real to me. If we can recognize biased methods, we can change them. Mammograms. I had my first one in my early 30s. And it wasn't bad at all. Chemistry. Okay, fine. It probably depends quite a bit on your teacher. Spinal taps. Well, now they call them lumbar punctures. To make it less scary. The fear of getting one is worse than the test itself. It only hurts for a fraction of a second. Eating simple, cheap meals. Sometimes the simple stuff is just better than the complex. Hands down, I'd take a bowl of leftovers risotto any day over 90% of restaurants I've been to. You don't need 10 ingredients and 5 spices to make good food. Exercise. Cringy video games. Minecraft, Fortnite, Undertale, and even FNAF. Even when it's pumping out sequels, or at the very least objectively okay games. Minecraft is still one of my favorites. Spiders. They take care, get rid of the actual pests that can do harm to you in your home. Just let them be if you see one, or carry them outside on a piece of paper if they bother you. A colonoscopy. If you're of age or have a family history, get it done. I waited 3 years too many and have a stage 4 colorectal cancer diagnosis. If I just wasn't afraid of the whole concept, they'd have caught it as a polyp. You get knocked out and wake up in recovery. Get it done, please. Autism. Sure, there are people with low-function autism, but many people with autism, me, for example, look perfectly normal on the outside, aside from some social awkwardness. Also Asperger's, which I have and is on the autism spectrum, isn't a 100% illness. It's more of a trade-off. People see the social awkwardness and the difficulty grasping gray areas, as opposed to black and white thinking, as a bad thing, but what we lack in those areas is more than made up for academically. I'm really good with math and science and am pursuing a degree in aerospace engineering since that's what I'm really good at. Edit. I just want to clarify that while there definitely are parts of the spectrum that you do not want, i.e., can't speak, need someone to care for you your entire life type autism, many parts produce people that, on appearance, are basically normal.